Hi, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful hat dress you see on your screen. It's basically made up of granny squares at the bottom and regular double crochets for the main part of the dress. So I'm going to be using 100% cotton yarn in white, and this yarn is kind of like a fantasy yarn, so it's parts viscose and parts polyester. And I'll be using two types of hooks. I'll be using a 2.5mm crochet hook for my granny square and the top part of my dress, and I'll be using a 4.5mm crochet hook for the skirt part of the dress. Again, this will totally depend on you. I'm using the bigger hook for the skirt part because I think the tension will be looser and will give it flow, but it's okay to use just one hook if that's what you want. In terms of yarn as well, you can use whatever yarn you have, as long as it's light to medium weight, that's fine. And I'll be needing a tape measure along the line. We'll be needing a pair of scissors to cut our yarn and a darning needle to join our squares together, and also to attach our squares to the dress. So let's get right into it. We are going to start off with the yarn that we want to be the hat in our square. So basically, when we are done, we're going to have something like this. So you start off with the yarn that you want to form the hat in your square. Mine is this gold, and to begin with, you're going to make a chain of 4. This chain of 4, some people prefer to make a magic ring to start their work, which is totally fine, but I'm not very comfortable with magic rings. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have your 4 chains, you slip stitch into the very first chain you made. So we have something like more circle to work into. That's what we want. So you're going to chain up 2 and make 12 double crochets into the circle that you have. So the chain 2 doesn't count, by the way. So go ahead and make 12 double crochets into the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So once you have your 12 double crochets, you can always go back and count to make sure. You go into the very first double crochet you made, so the chain 2 doesn't count. Go into the very first double crochet and make a slip stitch. For round 2, we are going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and then make 2 double crochets each into every double crochet below. So into this very first stitch, you're going to go in with 2 double crochets. Again, the chain 2 doesn't count, so 2 double crochets in there, and then you continue with 2 double crochets all around into each and every stitch. So go ahead and make 2 double crochets into every stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. So I've come to the end of round 2, and I have 2 double crochets in every single double crochet below. So that means we have a total of 24 double crochets. If you want to make sure, again, just go back and count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I'm sure I definitely have 24 double crochets. Just go on top of your very first double crochet and make a slip stitch. not on top of the chain 2, by the way, the first double crochet. Okay, so for round 3 we're going to make quadruple crochets into the 4th stitch. So 1 2 3 4. Into that 4th stitch you're going to make a quadruple crochet, 8 quadruple crochets. So to make quadruple crochets you're going to yarn over 3 times. 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4. Go into the 4th stitch, pull through, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So it's basically just how you make double crochets, by yarn over 3 times, not once. So we're going to add 7 more quadruple crochets in that same stitch. That's my 2nd quadruple crochet. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. 8. So once you have your 8 quadruple crochets in that stitch, you're going to add 2 treble crochets into that same stitch. So you make a treble crochet, yarn over twice, go into the same stitch and make a treble crochet. So we add 1 more treble crochet in there. So what we have in this stitch is 8 quadruple crochets and 2 treble crochets. Now we're going to go into the next 2 stitches with a treble crochet each. So make a treble crochet in the next stitch. Make a treble crochet in the next stitch. And then another treble crochet in the next stitch. Now, depending on what yarn you're using, you would struggle to see this stitch here. So I want you to make sure you're covering every stitch. You don't miss anything. Now, after you have your 2 treble crochets, you're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. Make a half double crochet in the next stitch. Make 3 single crochets, 1 each in the next 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet, another single crochet in the next stitch, and another in the next stitch. Then we're going to make a half double crochet and a double crochet into the next stitch together. So half double crochet, then go into that same stitch with a double crochet. Once you have that, you're going to chain 1, and once we chain this one, the first part of our hat is done. So we're going to replicate what we did on this side on the other side, but in descending order basically. So going make a double crochet in the next stitch and a half double crochet in the same stitch. Make 1 single crochet each into the next 3 stitches. Make a half double crochet in the next stitch. Make a double crochet in the next stitch. Make 1 treble crochet each into the next 2 stitches. Now go into the next stitch with 2 treble crochets and 8 quadruple crochets. Into the same stitch you're going to make 2 treble crochets and 8 quadruple crochets. So once you have your 2 treble crochets and 8 quadruple crochets in the stitch, you're going to go into the, so you keep the rest of the stitches, 1 2 3, you skip over all of them and go down here. So you see where the first and the last double crochet meets on round 2, you're going to go in between there. Don't slip stitch on the first quadruple crochet you made, just go down here and place your slip stitch. So you have something like this. Again, depending on what yarn you're using, this could look either bigger or smaller. I don't think it can look any smaller than this, but anything is possible. So we are done with the heart part of our granny square basically. We're going to take our second yarn, and mine is white. I chose white for the second part, so just get your second yarn and attach it. You can choose anyhow you want to attach it, but this is how I do it. You take your second yarn, hold it behind and just pull through, then pull the first yarn at the back just to tighten it. Once it's tight enough, you're going to make 4 chains. 1 2 3 4, and then you go into that very same space where you did your slip stitch. You make a quadruple crochet in there. 1 2 3, go in there with a quadruple crochet. 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so once we have our quadruple crochet, we are going to tie off this yarn just so it's secure. So just grab your scissors and cut off the first yarn. You should leave enough like length so you can tie off and weave in. So just snip that off, and I know we're done with our first yarn. And then you pick the 2 ends, the old and the new one, and you tie it off. So just tie 2 knots should be fine. So that's 1 knot, and I'll just go ahead and add 1 more. So this is secure and we can continue to do our work. So to continue, we are going to go into the first stitch with a treble crochet, so yarn over twice, and in this very first stitch, again, don't miss any stitches, so go into this very first one here with a treble crochet, go into the next one with a treble crochet as well. Now go into the next 2 stitches with 1 double crochet each. So in this stitch you place a double crochet, and then place a double crochet into the next stitch. Now Go into the next stitch with 5 double crochets together. So make 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after you have 5 double crochets, you're going to make a half double crochet in the next stitch. Make a single crochet into the next stitch, then slip stitch twice into the next 2 stitches. So 1 slip stitch in the next stitch and another slip stitch in the next stitch. Don't make the slip stitches too tight, because when you come to the next round you don't want to have issues working into them. So make a single crochet into the next stitch and a half double crochet into the next stitch. Make 1 double crochet each into the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet and then 1 double crochet into the next one. Make 1 treble crochet each into the next 2 stitches. Go into the next stitch, 1 treble crochet, and then into the next stitch you make a treble crochet 2. Now go into the next stitch with 5 quadruple crochets together. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we have 5 quadruple crochets in the same stitch. Now we're going to go into the next stitch with a treble crochet. Then go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Go into the next stitch with a half double crochet. Now we've come to the chain 1 space where we made the chain 1. That means we have come to almost at the end of the first part. So go in there with a single crochet. So again, we've done the first part of our square. We're going to replicate what we have in descending order on the other side. So go into the next stitch with a half double crochet. Go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Go into the next stitch with a treble crochet. Go into the next stitch with 5 quadruple crochets together. There we have our 5 quadruple crochets together. Go into the next 2 stitches with 1 treble crochet each. So you make 1 treble crochet each into the next 2 stitches. Once you have that, make 1 double crochet each into the next 2 stitches. make a half double crochet into the next stitch, make a single crochet into the next stitch, make 2 slip stitches, one each into the next 2 stitches. So 1 slip stitch in the next one and 1 slip stitch into the next one. Make a single crochet into the next stitch, make a half double crochet into the next stitch, make a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Sorry, make 5 double crochets together into the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now make 1 double crochet each into the next 2 stitches. Go and build 1 and 2. Go into the next stitch with a treble crochet. Now go into your very last stitch. If you don't have any stitch left, go back into where you had your 4 chains, but then if you look closely, you can put a stitch just before you have your chain, just before where you have your chain. You can make a treble crochet in there. If you're not able to, just go into the space where you have your 4 chains. And then I'll just place my last, I'll place my last treble crochet in here, in this space. 1, 2, 3. So there we have it, and you're going to slip stitch on top of the first quadruple crochet you made, not on top of your chain 4. Make it on top of the quadruple crochet, slip stitch up then, and that's it. The first part of our square is done. The next round, you're going to chain up 3, make a double crochet in that very stitch. So the chain 3 doesn't count as a double crochet. This is our first double crochet. Go ahead and make 7 double crochets in total. So this is 1. I'm just going to make 6 more. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So once you have 7 double crochets, you're going to go into the next double crochet with 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So 2 double crochets in there, then you chain up 2 and add 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. So that forms our first proper corner. So after you have that, you're going to go into the next 13 double crochets with 1 double crochet each. So make 13 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3. Just go ahead and once you have 13 double crochets, I'll make 2. So I have 13 double crochets and I'm going to place another corner. So you make 2 double crochets in the next stitch, chain 2 and add 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. That forms our second corner. So you're going to continue like that, make 13 more double crochets and then make a corner, make 13 double crochets. So 3. So just go ahead and make 13 double crochets and make your next corner. Make 13 double crochets and make your next corner. Then I'll meet you when we have the last set of double crochets to make before the end. So I've made my very last corner and I'm going to make my last set of double crochets, but then you realize we made 7 double crochets to start with. This time we're going to have 6 and it's fine, it's totally fine. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I'm missing a count. Okay, so this is my corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and 6. So we've had 6 double crochets for the last set of double crochets and it's fine. So go ahead and slip stitch on top of the very first double crochet you made, and that forms a square. See, it's starting to take shape. You're going to add one more round. So the final round, you chain up 3 and again make a double crochet. So for this part, I'll just show you. Go ahead and make double crochets in every double crochet below. Double crochet, double crochet. Okay, so I've reached my first corner. What you do now is once you make your double crochets and you get into the corner, just go into the chain 2 space and make another corner. So that's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then you're going to continue like that. Just make double crochets in the double crochets and make a corner into the corner, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've gone ahead to make double crochets and double crochets and corners and corners, and I've come to the end of the round, and I'll just slip stitch on top of the first double crochet there, and that's it really. You just chain 1 and cut off your yarn. So this is what we have at this point. Depending on, again, your yarn, your hook size, your tension, it could look bigger or smaller. That's fine. So we're going to make several of these to join and attach to the bottom part of our dress. I'm not going to, I can't tell you what number you should make because it will depend on your size, the size of your dress, and the circumference of the bottom of your dress, basically. So when I made this dress, which is a size medium, I had to make 12 granny squares in total. And how I determined that was I made the dress, then I measured the bottom and I got the length I needed, and I was able to determine how many granny squares will form that circle for me. So for a size medium, I'd say maybe 12, just like I did. But if you're making a smaller size, it would depend. I'd say +2 - 2 or +3 - 3. So maybe 9, 10 for a small, then maybe 14, 15 for a large. So again, your granny squares, the number of granny squares you need will depend on the circumference of the bottom of your dress. So that means we'll have to go ahead and make our dress before we determine how many gunny squares we need. But before we go, I blocked these squares before I used them for my main project. Again, it's a personal choice. If you don't like blocking your works, that's fine, it will still work. But I just feel like when you block it, it looks more relaxed and even bigger. So this is it in the natural state, and this is it after I blocked it. You can see it looks more relaxed, bigger, more put together. So I'll suggest when you're done with your granny squares, you block them before you use them. So I'll just go ahead and place these aside, and we'll work on the main dress. So to work on our main dress, we are going to grab our yarn that we want from the dress. Again, this part will work with a 2.5mm crochet hook, or whichever hook you chose. And I'm just going to make a chain. So you're going to make a chain that runs from this part of your collarbone to the other side of your collarbone, basically. So for mine, that is 30 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for me, that's 30 chains, and you decide what number of chains work for you based on your measurement. Once you have the 30 chains, or the base chain you need, chain up 3, then go into the 4th chain and make a double crochet. Now go ahead and double crochet into each and every single chain that you have. So make double crochets in your chains, and I'll meet you at the end. So I've gone ahead to place double crochets in each and every double chain below. And for round 2, you're going to chain up 3. Now in this part of our dress, the chain 3s count as double crochets because we need to make increases, and that's one way we are able to make our increase. So this chain 3s count as double crochet. So once you turn your work, go into that very same stitch where the chain 3 is coming from, your very first stitch there, and make a double crochet. That means we've increased by 1 double crochet. Now continue to place a double crochet into every single double crochet below. Just go ahead and make double crochets till you get to the end, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm coming to the end of the row, and I'm going to place a double crochet here. Place a double crochet in the next stitch, and then I'm going to go on top of the chain 3. Make sure you don't miss any. So go on top of that chain 3 there and place 2 double crochets. That's 1, and into that same stitch I'll place the second double crochets. So we've increased at the end by 1. We've increased here by 1, we increased at the beginning by 1. We're going to go on to the next row, and it's basically going to be the same. You're going to chain up 3 and add 1 more double crochet in that same stitch. Then continue regularly with 1 double crochet each into each and every double crochet below. Okay, once more, I'm coming to the end of this round and this row. I'll place 1 double crochet here, then go on top of the chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, then place 2 double crochets in there. So the key here is to not miss your last stitches. Make sure you're going on top of the last chain 3 with double crochets, so 2 double crochets. So you're going to continue like that, keep increasing. Increase at the beginning and increase at the end. So you increase when you end, you increase when you start, basically. So your work will start to look something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do more rows. So keep working till this measurement reaches your, so you're going to need something that goes from the top of your collarbone to your waistline. So this is the middle of your collarbone, basically. So you're going to work till this here can go all the way to your waistline. Let's say the upper part of your navel, just on top of your navel, the tip of your navel. So you're going to keep working till this can reach there. Don't forget, you're going to keep increasing. If you don't increase, this will not be able to cover your chest, your bust, whatever. So keep increasing till the length here can stretch to reach your navel. Now I'll meet you soon. So I've gone ahead to make increases, and this here, so if this is the tip, the middle part of my collarbone, this is my waistline. So I've done increases to that length. And what we're going to do now is to measure the bottom part of our work. So grab your measuring tape and measure, stretch it, and make sure it's fully stretched, because you know crochet can get like really tricky when it comes to stretching. So when I stretch mine, it stretches to 25 inches. My waistline, the circumference of my waist is 27 inches. So what I'm going to do is make a chain of 2 inches. Now if you measure this and it reaches your waistline, you don't have to make any chain, just wait and hold on for further instructions. But if it doesn't reach your waistline, then make a chain that covers the difference. 2, 3, 4. So one more time, let's say this is 1 2 3 4 5 6. These are 6 chains. Now if I measure from the chain to this part, it's off camera, but then it gives me 27 inches. So now I know this is my waist measurement. Again, if yours is 34 inches and this measures to 25 inches, just go ahead and make the chain to cover the difference, basically. And then once you have that, go turn your work like this and make a slip stitch. So just make a slip stitch on top of the very first chain here. I hope that made sense to you. So now when I measure this whole circumference here, it will be the measurement of my waistline. I'm very new to this tutorial thing, so if something is not clear, just let me know in the comments and I'll explain further. Okay, so now we are going to be working in like rounds, and before that you're going to chain 1 and cut off your yarn. The reason being, now if you didn't make any chains here, it's fine, just leave it like that. But if you did, then cut off your yarn and find your middle point. Now if you had to make the extension chain and you slip stitch here, chain 1 and cut off your yarn. Then find your middle point here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. Just find the middle, rough gauge, find the middle point here in the chain and attach your yarn. We want the line to, or the seam to be directly in the middle. But on a second thought, I think I'm going to get rid of the chain and just work with my normal measurement that I have here. So I just slip stitch here. The reason being, I have a feeling this is going to like really after I block it, it's going to really stretch and it will become, the measurement to become even longer. So I'll just stick to the 25 inches I have here. I wouldn't add any more chain. But from the explanation I made earlier, if yours doesn't reach your waist measurement, just make the extension chain and then slip stitch. Once you slip stitch, cut off your yarn and find the exact middle of the chain you made and attach your yarn there. The reason is simple. We don't want the seam to be on the side of our dress. We want it to be right in the middle, basically. So if that makes sense, let's continue. Right, chain up one and turn your work. Then you're going to make single crochets, just single crochets all around. This time no increases, we're just making single crochets in each and every stitch below. Make single crochet all around. So just go ahead and make single crochets and I'll meet you at the end. So I went ahead and made single crochets and I'm coming to the end of this round here, our first round after we joined. So once you come to the end, when you're sure you've covered all the stitches you have below, just go ahead and place a slip stitch on the first single crochet you made. So place a slip stitch there. Now again, chain one, and our chain ones don't count as slip stitch as single crochet, so go into that same stitch and place your first single crochet. Now continue making, you're going to make 3 rounds of single crochets, no increases. You've done the first round, so you're going to go on to the second round again and make another round of single crochets. So this is our second round. Just so this video doesn't end up being very long, just go ahead and make 3 rounds of single crochets. That was our first one. This is our second one. And then make another round. When you have 3 in total, I'll meet you and let you know what to do. So I've gone ahead to make my 3 rows of single crochets, no increases. This is just to form something like a waistband kind of. And as you can see, I've switched hooks to a 4mm. Again, this is not compulsory. I just want a bit of loose tension in the bottom part of my dress. But if you're fine with the hook you're using, then just carry on with that one. It's totally fine. So for the bottom part of our dress, you're going to, let me show you what it looks like. Hopefully you have the same thing. Ideally you have something like this now. So we are going to be increasing, lots of increases actually. So to begin with, you're going to chain up 3, which doesn't count as a double crochet. Then make a double crochet in that stitch. So the chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch. Then make another double crochet, make another double crochet, another double crochet. So we have 1 2 3 4. The next one will be the 5th one. So we made 5 double crochets and we are going to increase in the next one. So we'll make 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Then we are going to make 5 double crochets, 1 each into the next 5 stitches. So 1 2 3 4 and 5. That means you're going to increase into the next stitch, make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Then go ahead and place 1 double crochet each to the 5. So it's just like that repeat pattern. So you make 5 double crochets, then you increase 2 double crochets in one stitch, 5 double crochets, 2 double crochets in one, like that. So 1 2 3 4 5. Then we increase in the next one. So go ahead and do that. 5 increase, 5 increase, and I'll meet you at the end here. So I'm at the end of the round, our first increase round, and I've done my last increase, and I have just 2 double crochets to go, and it's totally fine. If you come and you have, whether you have 3 2 1, it's okay. Just go ahead and work with what you have. So place double crochets in there, and then slip stitch, not on the chain 3, slip stitch on top of the first double crochet you have. So right here, that's the end of our first round, our first increase round. It doesn't seem like much, but it will start to increase. The more we do, the wider it will get. So for the next round, you're going to repeat the same thing. 1 2 3, which doesn't count as a double crochet. Then double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to do 5 increase, 5 increase. So you're going to do this for 3 rounds. We've done the first one, this is the second one, and after this one we'll do 1 more increase round. So once you have 3 increase rounds, I'll come back and I'll let you know what next to do. So don't forget, it's 5 double crochets, increase, 5 double crochets, increase. So this is 2 3 4 5, then we increase, which is 2 double crochets together. Then you go back and do 5, I'm sure you catch the drift. So do 5 double crochets, then do 2 double crochets in one, 5, then increase, 5, increase, 5, increase. Finish this round, this current round, and do one more round. So that means we'll have 3 increase rounds in total, and I'll meet you there at the end. So I've come to the end of my 3rd increase round. So I've increased 1, 2, 3 rounds now, and I'm going to just slip stitch to finish off the round. Now this is what we have so far. You can see our dress starting to take shape. It's starting to get the flare we want at the bottom over there, which is good. So we're going to continue, but for the next round we are not going to be increasing. So you're just going to work off normal double crochets in each and every stitch. So you go around with normal double crochets all around, no increases, just 1 1 1 in each, and when you get here you slip stitch as usual. So this is going to be the pattern. You do 3 increase rows, which is 1 2 3 4 5, then you increase, you make 5 double crochets, you increase, 5 double crochets, increase. So you do 3 increase rows, 1 normal row, 3 increase rows, 1 normal row, till you get the length of the dress that you want. So I would go ahead and do it on camera, but then the video will be so long. So bear in mind, we do 1 2 3 increase rows, then we'll do a normal row of no increases, just 1 double crochet all around. Then we do 3 increase rows. By increase rows I mean what we did here: 1 2 3 4 5 increase, 1 2 3 5 increase, 3 of those rows, then a normal row. You keep going like that till you get the length of the dress you want. So I'm going to continue working, and I will come back when I have the length of the dress I want. See you in a bit. Now I went ahead and did my rows that I need. I did a total of 19 rows. There's something worth mentioning before you go ahead to make your rows. Depending on how much flare you want in your dress, sorry I don't have a good angle of this, but depending on how much flare you want in your dress, if you want a really big flare, if you know what I mean, like you want your dress to be really flare in the bottom, then the increase of 3 rows, 1 normal, 3 rows, 1 normal will work for you. But if you don't want it to be too big, you just want something like really decent, then I'd say increase for 2 rows, 1 normal row, 2 rows, 1 normal row, till you get the length that you want. Either way, I think you will still get a flare, but then bear in mind, the more flare you get, the wider the bottom will be, the wider the width here in the bottom will be. So once you get the length, what you're going to do is, when you get the length you want, what you're going to do to determine the number of granny squares you need is pick your dress and measure the bottom, measure the circumference of the bottom. Because this is like really circular, it can be a bit hard to measure, but I would say just go slowly and make sure it's like folded into 2 completely, and measure it bit by bit. So I'd say you go this way and then you continue like this and continue like this. You just want a rough estimate to know how many granny squares you need, so something like that. and then like this. And all the way to the end. So that's 56. If I multiply it by 2, that'll give me 112. So I'll say roughly 112 inches for my entire circumference of the bottom. Now this may not be entirely accurate, but it's to give us a rough estimate of how many granny squares we're going to need. Now I have 112 roughly inches. So what I'm going to do is pick my granny square, whichever way you want to work with, whether blocked or unblocked. Just pick your finished granny square. So mine is blocked. This is the finished product I want to use. Bear in mind, if it's not blocked, it will be a bit shorter than it is now. So one granny square for me is roughly around, again, don't stretch it, just take the usual measurement. Let's say 6.5 inches. So if you take 112 and divide it by 6, I'm probably gonna need I think I'm gonna need a calculator for this, but if it's 120, then I'm gonna need 20, so I'm probably gonna need like 18 roughly. So 18 granny squares, which is quite a lot actually. My calculator proves I'm probably gonna need 18, but what I'm gonna do is join my squares and then pin them. So far I have about 13 squares so far. I'm going to join them, like join the entire row of what I have, and pin it around my dress, and then decide, like, I'll see if it fits. If it doesn't, that means I have to do more squares and add to it. But I'm just showing you the basics so you know how to go about it. If you're working with your own measurements, you just have to get the circumference of the bottom of your dress, get that length, and then measure your granny square, work the number of granny squares that will fit that. That's just the theory around it. So to join the granny squares, you might have your own way of doing it, which is totally fine, but in case you don't and you want a fair idea of how to do it, I'm just gonna sew mine. Some people might prefer to join it with slip stitches or single crochets. It's totally up to you, but for me, I'm going to hold my squares wrong side to wrong side. So I'm going to sew for the right side to come forward. So I'll just attach the wrong side is where you have the ends. So put those two sides together, then hold it in the corner here like this where the chains meet, and just sew the chains. Sew the chains like you normally would, just like this. Go in again, the chain, the corner space over there, one more time. Again, I'll go in one more time just to secure it. And then from there, I'm not going to sew this like this. I'll just sew the front loops. So this, just the front loop and that. And I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to put the thread over. I'm just going to put it through like that. So again, front loop only, 2 front loops, one from this side and one from the other side, and pull my yarn through, pull my thread through. Again, if you decide to work slip stitches in this, it will be the same thing, as long as your granny squares are joined and you can work with it. That's all that matters. There we have it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do front loop throughout. Again, if you're joining, just make sure the parts are matching equally. So you want to make sure the stitches are matching just so everything is in order. If it's not very aligned, you're going to have like a really bad stitching or crooked poly joint granny squares, which is not what we want. I've gone all around and I'm back to the chain where the corners meet. So again, I'm just going to sew the chain. This time I'll secure it by putting my thread over. So punch through the thread over the needle and just pull. Punch the same place through the thread over and pull the needle out of it. So that's it. I've attached my granny squares. So this is what the front will look like. This is what I want. I just want it to look like this. This is what the back looks like. It looks almost the same, but this is fine for me. So you're going to go ahead and attach like all your squares. Make sure all the time wrong side is facing wrong side, just so you can have all the right sides in front. So I joined parts of them earlier, and this is what you're gonna have, something like this, really long, that can go around. So I'm going to go ahead and join all the squares I have, put them all together, and when I'm done I'll show you how I'll attach it to my dress. Okay, so I went ahead and did the number of granny squares I need. I joined it all together and I weaved in my ends as well. So I got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 granny squares in total, which is quite a lot. I don't know if you remember, I told you I did, let me show you the red one I did. So with the red one I only did a total of 12 granny squares. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So with this red one I did 12 granny squares and I have 15 for this one. The reason is with the increasing parts of my, when I increased the skirt part of my dress, I only did 2 rows of increase and 1 normal, 2 rows of increase, 1 normal. But with this one I did 3 rows of increase and 1 normal. So the width of the bottom of my dress ended up being bigger here than it is on this one. That's why I needed more granny squares for this one. So that's what I was trying to explain to you earlier. The wider the bottom of your dress, as in the more flare you have in it, the more flow you have in your dress, the more granny squares you're gonna need. So bear that in mind when you do your increases. So what I'm gonna do now is join this in a round form. So I'll just pick right side to right side. Because I weave in my ends, it's kind of hard to tell, but then I left one end inlet to mark my wrong side. Okay, so this is my wrong side. I'm just gonna fold it over, wrong sides facing each other, and join it just as we've done before. But this time I'm just gonna join the first and the last granny square to make a circle. So there we have wrong sides facing. Make sure this is not flipped, else you might have to undo it and redo it. So all wrong sides facing each other, and I'm just going to join these bits here just as normal, just as we've done before. So go ahead and do that and I'll show you what to do. Okay, all right, I've joined my squares into a circle now. So it's no longer one long line, it's like a giant loop now. It's like a full circle, if you know what I mean, when you just fold it so it fits into the screen. So it's like a full circle basically. Now what we're going to do is put our dress down like this. Find the wrong side of your dress. It's hard to tell, but then you can just pick any side to be your wrong side. I think I'll use this as my wrong side. So turn it to the wrong side and pick this. We're just attaching this to that. Whichever way you choose to join it is totally up to you, but in case you have no idea how to do it, just pick the wrong side of your granny square loop or the thing you've made. Try and figure out the wrong side. So for me, I left one end unwoven just so I can determine where the wrong side is. So turn it all the way out. So right side facing right side, and having the wrong side facing you outside. And you're going to attach that part to the bottom part of your dress. So you're going to pin it. It's easier to sew when it's all pinned down. It just helps make it easier. That way you're able to account for any excesses and all that. So I'll just go around and pin it. Wrong side of the dress, wrong side of the granny square facing me. The right sides are inside. This time I'm not joining it to right side anymore, because it's like the main part of the dress, which will be very visible, and I want to use a very secured stitch to sew it, so it's just better to sew it on the wrong side. So just go ahead and pin it all around, match it and pin it. Okay, so I'm done pinning it all around, and I'll just grab my needle and thread, and just the way I've pinned it, I'll just hold it like that and join wrong side to wrong side like that. So I think I'm going to start from the front here, just so when I get to the back, in case there are any excesses, it will just account for itself. So what you do is just go, this time I'm not sewing front loop, I'm actually sewing the whole thing. So I'll go through the whole joints like this. Secure the first one by sewing over twice. Then I'll just continue, go into every stitch, go through the granny square and the skirt. Go through my thread over and just pull through. So basically that's it really. It's just basic sewing stitches, nothing complicated. So again, whichever works for you best, you can use that method too. So if you wanted to do slip stitches, I think that will work too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew it all around, and when I have everything sewed, I'll come back to you. So you can tell from this side, this is how it looks, but when you flip it over, it looks very seamless. You can't really tell. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attach the whole thing and BRB. So I went ahead and attached all the squares. I sew them all into it. So when I turn to the right side, this is what it looks like. We have a full dress, well, almost, but this is what it looks like on the right side. Got the top parts, and we got the skirt. That looks like this on the right side. Yeah, so from here we're almost done really. We just have to do edging at the bottom. Again, if you like your dress this way, then it's totally fine, but I prefer to do these edgings I did here. I'm just going to show you how to do that, and we add straps. That's it. So to make the edging, grab your yarn, and we're working on the right side now, so turn your work to the right side and just attach it in any of the corners. So just attach your yarn, let's say in this corner here, then you chain up 4, 2, 3, sorry, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then make a double crochet in there. Those count as 2 double crochets. Add 1 more double crochet, chain 1, and add 3 more double crochets. So it's practically 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So you're going to skip over 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, go into the 4th one with a single crochet. Then go into the next stitch with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 3 double crochets in the same spot. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to skip 3 stitches again, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th stitch. You're going to make a single crochet, then go into the next stitch with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. It's practically the same thing, just repeat that all the way around, and that will form your edging. So to repeat, to highlight what we were doing so far, it's 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, go into the 4th stitch with a single crochet, then go right into the next stitch with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So do that all around. And okay, so let me show you something. When we come to the edge here, let me show you how it looks. It's practically the same, but let me work one with the three. So when we come here, 1, 2, 3, just go in there. You can see we've come to the part that joins there. Just go in there with a single crochet. Then I would slip stitch, no sorry, you just jump straight into this corner here and make your shell. So basically nothing goes into this bit here, the bits where we joined. You just like skip over and continue working like that. So go ahead and fill all your stitches. So here, skip 1, 2, 3, and then the next one I will do my single crochet. So yeah, we're gonna have something like this, which is just lovely at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and create my shell all around the dress, and I will come back to you. So I'm about to place my last stitch here. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and an extra 3. And then so you skip whatever you have and place single crochet just before your first shell, and then go underneath your first shell and place a slip stitch. And that's it really. Just to secure, I'm just going to slip stitch again into this bit here, just so it doesn't look detached. Once you've made your slip stitch, just chain 1, cut your yarn, so that's it. Our dress is done. Now we just have to add straps, and that's it. But so far, here's what it looks like. We have the flare bits, and we have the top part of the dress. So let's go ahead and do our straps. Again, there are different ways of making straps. Several people like to do it in different ways, but I'm just going to show you how I do it for this dress. So I'm just going to go here in the corner. First of all, you want to double your strand, so pull a very long strand, or if you have 2 yarns, just pick 2 yarns and use double strands. But I don't want to take a fresh yarn, so I'll just pull a really long yarn, and then I'm going to hold it this way and go in here just at the tip of the corner, go in one of the sides. Make sure you double it, by the way. Once you double it this way, put your yarn through, your hook through, sorry, pull it out of there, and then go through, and let's just go ahead and chain, make chains. And just go ahead and make a very long chain, and I can go crisscross at the back. So once you have enough, you just cut your yarn, pull it to secure, then attach your yarn on the other side and do the same thing. Just going to attach it to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so I went ahead and did 2 straps that will basically go over at the back. So if this is my dress, again, I'll work on getting a better angle. I'm new to this whole filming tutorial thing, so My setup is not the best, but if you can see, the strap will basically just go to the back. It will just like crisscross basically. So you just find somewhere here. And then you do the same on the opposite side. Something like that, you get the idea. So that will be where it ties at the back over there, and we have a dress. Thank you for watching. You just weave in your ends from here basically. So thank you for watching, and let me know your feedback if you have any. What would like for me to improve? If you want any clarifications, you can just hit me up, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.